Hi. Today, we're going to have an adventure through time and grammar. I'll explore the present perfect tense with a focus on using the words since and for to tell you how these time markers help us connect the past to the present. At each place, I'll share something I've done or experienced, giving you real-life examples. Think of it as a travelogue with a grammar twist. Stick around to the end and try using since or for with your own examples. Ready? Let's explore and learn together. Before we jump into the adventure, I have a little challenge for you. Let's see if you can solve these questions about using since and for. I have lived in this city 2 years. Since. For. We have known each other childhood. Since. For. The team has practiced every day last month. Since. For. They have played music together 10 years. Since. For. By the end of this video, all the answers will reveal themselves naturally through our journey together. So, stay tuned. I have stayed in this mountain cabin for 2 weeks, and it's been amazing. By saying for 2 weeks, I'm using the present perfect to connect how long I've been here with the present moment. Remember, it's about the time period. For. Tells us the length of time, like a countdown. I've been here in this cabin for 2 weeks, and I still have 1 more day to enjoy. Try using for with periods of time you've spent on something. For hours. For 3 days. For months. For years. For decades. For a long time. Imagine you're sharing about a favorite hobby or skill. You might say, I have painted for 10 years. I have studied English for 6 months. I have worked on this project for hours. I have practiced Spanish for 1 year. For shows the duration of your activity, your practice, your passion, or your experience up to now. Whenever we're talking about how long we've done something up to now, for is perfect. This village has been one of my favorite places since 2020. The word since tells us when something began. So when I say, I have loved this place since 2020, I'm letting you know the exact point in time when I started coming here. When we use since, we're pointing back to the beginning of a time period. For example, I have known my best friend since primary school, or I have played the guitar since last summer. With since, it's all about telling people when something started. Use since with moments in time. Since morning. Since Tuesday. Since last summer. Since the start of the year. Since 2020. Since childhood. Think about it. Is there something important you've done since a particular moment? Maybe, I have practiced yoga since January. Or I've saved up for a big trip since last year. So since is often used to show beginnings of life events or ongoing interests. I have visited this lake for years, and each time I come back, it's like seeing an old friend. Saying for years shows that this has been a tradition for a long time. So if you want to describe something ongoing in your life, for is the perfect choice. Like, I have followed this band for a decade. We have known each other for generations. This market has been part of my travels since my first visit, and it's always full of new surprises. Using since here shows when this market became special to me, back in my early days of travel. When I say, since my first visit, I mean the beginning of this experience that started in the past and continues into the present. You might say, I have loved dancing since childhood. Or I've enjoyed this city since I moved here. In the present perfect tense, For and since both refer to time, but they serve different purposes and answer different questions. For is used to indicate the duration of an action or situation. It tells us how long something has lasted. For example, I have lived in this city for 14 years. The action of living has lasted 14 years, up to the present. She has worked here for a long time. We've been friends for more than a decade. Remember, for works best with periods of time like hours, days, months, or years. And answering the question for how long. Since is used to indicate the starting point of an action or situation that began in the past and continues to the present. It tells us when something started. For example, I have lived in this city since 2010. The starting point is 2010, and the action of living in the city continues up to now. She has worked here since last year. We've been friends since high school. Remember, since works best with specific points in time like a date, year, or event, and answering the question since when. Throughout this adventure, we've seen how for and since in the present perfect tense indicate the timeline and continuity of an action into the present. We use for to express the length of time, such as for 3 years, for a month, or for 2 hours. On the other hand, since marks the starting point of an action, as in since 2020, since last summer, or since childhood, together. These words clarify how long an action has been ongoing or when an action began. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Now, I want to hear from you. In the comments, share something you've done using since or for with the present perfect. For example, I've been learning English for a year, or I have followed this channel since last month. And if you enjoyed this journey, hit like, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell for more adventures in English. Until next time, keep exploring and keep learning.